Warning, playing FPL is highly addictive. It may cause stress, a loss of free time, a resentment towards friends or colleagues, and a dislike to football in general. Please, FPL responsibly.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Fixture Watch. Before looking at the full FDR table, a quick word about OneFootball who have kindly sponsored this video. The world's best football news app is now even better, relaunching with a fresh new design. Gain access to news, scores and stats from leagues all over the world with a brand new interface that's cleaner, simpler and smarter than ever. As for FPL, you can follow each team in the Premier League and get live updates from all the goals and assists every game week. Download it for free using the link in the description box below. At the top of the FDR table from Gameweek 9 is Aston Villa, with a difficulty rating of 12 according to FPL. With 5 wins from 7, the Villains have shocked many of us this season and currently sit 3 points off the top of the table with a game in hand. They now take this promising form into a run of 5 more very appealing fixtures, where they face Brighton, West Ham, Newcastle, Wolves and Burnley, 3 of which are at home. With 18 goals scored, they currently boast the 3rd best attack. And as for defensively, well, that's even more impressive, with 9 goals conceded, the joint lowest of the division so far. They've also kept a league best 4 clean sheets, despite playing a game less than most teams. This shows that this Villa team at the moment are offering us options all throughout the park, as well as providing us with superb value to then spend money elsewhere. Jack Grealish is no doubt the most obvious option, with the impressive Martinez in goal probably a close second. Both very popular FPL picks and rightfully so. But with their form and these fixtures, there's a few differentials worth consideration as well. There's Ross Barkley, Ollie Watkins, Matt Targett, all of which could return decent points over the next 5 game weeks. Another team towards the top of the FDR table is the side who currently sit top of the Premier League table, Leicester, who head into this nice run of fixtures off the back of 3 consecutive Premier League wins. In Gameweek 9, the Foxes do face a tricky test away to Liverpool, but interestingly, for the first time in a long time, FPL have now reduced a visit to Anfield as a difficulty rating of 4 instead of 5. And understandably so, with the champions suffering a lot of big injuries this season and therefore conceding a lot more goals. A fixture against Liverpool is one that Jamie Vardy likes in particular as well, and as much as I like his chances in that fixture, it's the games that follow that are even more appealing. Leicester face Fulham, Sheffield United and Brighton in the following 3, all of which Vardy could do well in, especially if he continues to get protection in the European games. As for their defence, they've only conceded 9 goals this season, the joint least amount, with youngster Fofana stepping in and particularly impressing. The 3 games following Liverpool look like very good chances for clean sheets, and for this reason, sticking with the likes of James Justin could be worth it in the short term, who has already won 2 penalties for Leicester this season. The next team towards the top of the FDR table is Crystal Palace, and following a convincing and confidence-boosting 4-1 win against Leeds last time out, can they now kick on and get results from the next 3 very winnable games? Palace face Burnley, Newcastle and West Brom in the next 3, all of which have been given a difficulty rating of 2. Their next opponents, Burnley, have improved defensively of late, and the return of Ben Mee is a big boost for them, so this one is by no means an easy fixture from an attacking perspective. But with the following 2 fixtures also looking favourable, if you do own Wilfried Zaha, then he still looks to be a solid option for the next few game weeks, as most attacking returns from Palace will come through him. Given these next 3 fixtures, a short-term punt on one of their differentials could also be rewarding, and it's midfielder Eze and defender Patrick van Aanholt who I've picked out. Looking at these next 3 games, Burnley, Newcastle and West Brom are some of the lowest scoring teams in the league. Burnley have only scored 3, with West Brom scoring just 6. For this reason, Van Aanholt could have a good chance of points at either end of the pitch, with clean sheets a possibility, and we know he can also offer superb attacking threat as well. With a difficulty rating of 14 over the next 5 game weeks, Man City are another side who find themselves towards the top of the FDR table, and it's the next 3 home games in particular that are very hard to ignore. Over the next 5 game weeks, Man City face Burnley, Fulham and West Brom at home, and with a natural forward in Jesus now returning, can that finally help them in rediscovering their goal-scoring form? Incredibly, Man City have now failed to score more than 1 goal in their previous 5 Premier League games. That is simply unheard of for City in recent years, and that fact alone is a big worry when considering their highly priced assets. Transferring in City players now essentially means opting for fixtures over form, and betting that their form will improve given their incredibly kind run of upcoming games. We've also got a packed schedule and rotation to deal with, so I can understand steering clear. De Bruyne, Sterling, Jesus, Aguero when he's back, even Phil Foden during these easier games. All potentially great options for this long run of good fixtures, which lasts all the way up to game week 22. In these upcoming home games, you'd have to fancy a few clean sheets for Man City as well, who have improved defensively of late. João Cancelo looks to be the most exciting option, who over the last 4 game weeks has made the most key passes of any defender in the league, with 11. But I guess if you do want someone with more security of starts, then Ruben Diaz could be the option to go for. At 5.5 million, he's $500,000 cheaper than Laporte, and with Nathan Ake now suffering an injury during the break, that could solidify his place even further. As we look back to the FDR table, other teams within the top half and each having a difficulty rating of 14 are Southampton, Man United and also Everton, and it's the Toffees whose next 3 games look particularly favourable. Everton have been in very poor form in recent games, losing 3 on the bounce now. But in fairness, they have been dealing with some injuries and suspensions to important players, and perhaps it's no coincidence that their downturn in form did coincide with their star Brazilian Richarlison being suspended the last 3 games. He now returns for game week 9, so can he help them improve their performances? And with the Toffees facing Fulham, Leeds and Burnley in the next 3, what a differential he could be at just 4% ownership. Their next 2 opponents, Fulham and Leeds, are 2 of the worst defences in the league so far, with Leeds conceding 17 in 8 games and Fulham conceding 15. This means the ever-present and very popular Calvert-Lewin should continue to be a sensible option over the next couple of game weeks. As for those of you still with James Rodriguez, well then you've got a decision to make, because in his price range there is Jack Grealish and Hakim Ziyech, who are both looking like very good FPL options. If you do still have Rodriguez in your side though, and perhaps have other pressing matters to attend to, then keeping the Colombian for the next 3 games could end up being rewarding. So before wrapping up this episode, let's quickly now look towards the bottom of the FDR table and see which teams look to have a much more difficult run of games. Sat rock bottom of the FDR table is Spurs, who face Man City, Chelsea and Liverpool in 3 of the next 5 games. At 58 and 45% respectively, Son and Kane are some of the highest owned players in FPL, and understandably so as they are both the top scorers. With a seemingly more difficult run of games coming up though, and with them now not as free scoring as they were in previous games, could now be a time to take a risk and go against the crowd. Their upcoming games may be tough on paper, but the bigger teams won't be sitting back and trying to frustrate, and that could end up suiting Son and Kane. With a difficulty rating of 17, Wolves also find themselves towards the bottom here, and they are a team who have struggled for goals so far this season. They have, however, been one of the strongest defences so far, so it's a question now of whether you want to keep faith with them during this difficult spell of games, or move them on to a team with a better run of fixtures. So that wraps up this episode of the Fixture Watch. Hopefully you enjoyed it and found it useful, and if so, please be sure to leave a like and most importantly get subscribed to FPL TV. You can also hit the notification bell so you always know when a new video goes live. FPL responsibly, and I'll catch you all soon in the next video.